Hello, everybody. My speech is on about gun control. Over the past about 7 or 8 months, we have seen and heard the talk of greater gun control roar throughout the nation. Many citizens have feared their lives as they've seen innocent people been shot and killed or injured just at gunpoint. There have been two major occasions that have caused for this fear that we see. One is the Aurora movie theater massacre, and then also the more recent Sandy Hook elementary school shooting. Both of those events took way too many lives, innocent lives. Now, one may ask, how could someone just walk into a movie theater and shoot everybody up? Or how could someone walk in and kill all these innocent teachers and children? I mean, we're still students. We still have teachers. I mean, just imagine, put yourself in those shoes. So when people see such tragedy, so many people tend to jump to conclusion just to have justice served. We want to blame anything that's in sight, usually. So several Americans, including President Obama, demanded for better gun control. Those who call for stricter gun control policy are willing to endanger the freedom that us citizens have, that we citizens have through the Second Amendment in the Constitution. And the question is that really the answer, to endanger the Second Amendment of the Constitution? And the Second Amendment states, as I quote, "A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed." Thus, gun control laws that potentially overstep the boundaries of the Second Amendment of the Constitution shall not be mandated by the President for any reason, but they should be carefully processed through Congress in order to be deemed constitutional or not. Now, when such tragedies occur, Americans see the lives of innocent people being torn apart. They want to jump to a weak conclusion that could actually do more harm than good. For one, they demand for better control of gun sales, and then another instance, they demand and cry out for a mandate on which gun can actually be sold. After the Sandy Hook shootings, many Americans were awestruck, just as the movie theater massacre. People were kind of set back, and they were just filled with pure emotions. And like I said, how could someone just do that? Citizens were scared, people were mournful, everyone was angry. If you think of any negative emotion, it was probably running through someone's mind at that moment, or for the next few months, or even now. Now, when emotions are running high, people tend to call for the most drastic measures that may not necessarily be what is needed. They just want to calm the mind. Citizens demand for immediate action, so by the help of President Obama, such people got their wish. Shortly after Obama delivered his speech to give his condolences about the Sandy Hook elementary shootings of the people of Newtown, Connecticut, he made executive orders dealing with gun control to be taken into immediate action. Now, the problem with the executive orders are that President Obama, all he had to do was sign a piece of paper, and those actions were immediately mandated. They went straight into processing, or not even through Congress. As soon as his pen hit the paper, they were by law. And they went through no debate or anything. They just came into immediate play, and some of those mandates include, as I read, universal background checks, high-capacity clip bans, assault weapon ban, stricter gun trafficking monitoring, school safety increase, mental health research increase, media violence research increase, and record keeping of recovered guns during investigations. Now, please note that those mandates were based off emotion in current tragedies. Now, mandates such as mental health research increase and universal background checks were obviously proven to be in the better good of the people. But other mandates made some citizens completely enraged. People ended up running to every store they could find to buy ammunition or a gun with the fear that it may not be on the shelf the next day. The mad rush across the nation proved that something was not quite right. The Second Amendment was in danger. Citizens of the United States are available to the freedom that Constitution provides. And when that violation of the Constitution happens, people panic. They go into debate mode. Now that when laws are passed, we have a checks and balances system. The whole reason for checks and balances is to see what laws are deemed to be constitutional. If there's any question at all, it should definitely be reviewed by the members of Congress in order to determine the standing. Now, many Americans were thrilled and felt safer when these laws went into play, and then just as many Americans were immediately resentful, and they questioned what was going on and should that really be happening. And they questioned as soon as the president's pen touched the paper. Now, rules and regulations cannot simply be made off emotion and mourning. In order to make laws pass through Congress or appeals through the Supreme Court, people must bring solid evidence in order to have reasoning behind their choice of side. Now, everyone has the right to opinion and argument, but you must have solid reasoning other than pure emotion. Proof of reasoning and logical debates bring laws into effect. One cannot just pack their bags and put their emotions in there and take it to the courts and expect a change. Congress has to abide by the Constitution when deciding what is in the better good of the United States. The better good does not have the basis off a sole person. It has the basis off the nation as a whole, the whole body unifying the United States of America. Many truly think emotions run hand in hand with the better good of the people. My emotion, or our group of emotions, are for the better good as people. Making immediate decisions, executive orders that overstep the Second Amendment are definitely unconstitutional. No matter how bad things get, we are all in this together for the prosperity of this nation. Now, people must consider the factors of shootings. First, a person is behind the gun. They are pulling the trigger. Second, there's a specific mind in that person who is doing the action. Now, the gun did not go shoot the innocent people by themselves. It had the help of another human being. Now, the fact is not based on gun against human. It's human versus human. Now, when President Obama suggested having better background checks and health research, he was right. Now, everyone can agree that a specific executive order was for the better good of this nation. Not saying it should have just been a mandate, because it should have gone through some sort of processing through Congress, but it was obviously in the better good of the people. Now, who is the true killer? That is a question that everyone should ponder. Now, are guns really doing the killing, or is it deeper than that? In all seriousness, you may have heard this metaphor before, but guns, like saying guns kill people, is identical to saying forks make people fat. Both statements do not make much logical sense, because many come to the conclusion that the accessory is doing the damage or the action. No matter how deadly an object may be, it still takes some mind to operate it. The brain behind the mass murderer will never be stopped by gun control or excessive laws, just how other illegal substances have been banned, and you still see use of them today. The criminal will still find a way to commit the crime. Mentally insane human being will also continue to be able to unable to perform the correct thought process when it comes down to a dangerous situation. So instead of mandating gun control laws or wasting time proposing new ideas, the political leaders of the United States should be more concerned about what is the method behind the madness, who is really behind the massacres. There's a call for justice in the United States, not a call for unconstitutional actions. And that those unconstitutional actions can eventually reap the consequences of poor law and decision-making. And the loss of innocent lives has obviously and truly been an ongoing tragedy throughout this nation. We see things on the news every day, and it breaks our hearts, and it kills our emotions. And we feel for those people that have been harmed and their families and friends. And then citizens have the tendency to just jump to a conclusion to ban any harmful thing in the way, instead of actually looking at what the true cause was. Citizens have gone through lengths to have laws passed that punish those who are completely innocent, and it takes away their innocent rights as citizens of the United States of America. Instead of punishing those who had nothing to do with the crime, the United States and its inhabitants shall focus on the mind of the murderer, and not the accessory he uses. For no reason should the Constitution be overturned by executive orders to establish a safer setting. The Constitution was put in place for the protection of the better good of the United States and shall never be overlooked. And if question arises, then Congress steps in and has the careful power and duty to process any question or law that can come about without the interference of presidential orders or mandates.